So, fast forward to today. I have two daughters. Both of them live in the United States. One on the East Coast, one on the West Coast. You can't beat diversification. And they're both going to leave. Now, why is that? Most fundamentally because they really don't see that a young, intelligent, educated woman in the United States of today has the kind of opportunities that they thought they would have going forward. And so, what they see today is a country that is becoming less educated, is becoming less healthy, is becoming less free. And so they're going to join the ranks of academics, of scientists, of professionals who are leaving the country. And what an amazing change that is to where we were just a few years ago, where the best and the brightest of the world fought to come to the United States, to fulfill their dreams, to work hard, and in the process, make our country better. And so, it's amazing how quickly that sea change has taken place. And that's why I think it's fascinating that we're meeting here today in Munich. Munich, the home of the movement that became the National Socialist Party. The National Socialist Party, which took power in the early 30s in Germany, and according to a playbook that we're seeing reenacted every single day in the United States now. And that's very scary. The cost was huge. And I think as Americans, we today have the opportunity and the obligation to stand in the way and to stop authoritarian spread in the United States before the cost has become huge. And it will be huge if it happens. To drain the swamp. Has anybody noticed that nobody's talking about that anymore? It seems that all the people that went on and on and on about draining the swamp have fallen silent in the face of a real swamp. So I think the values that we represent here today are really around basic morality, common decency, and human dignity. And what is currently happening in California and many other places in the United States has nothing to do with morality, has nothing to do with decency, and runs counter to any form of human dignity.
Loosely calling us fascist because we were conservative, and so I'm someone very, very sensitive to this term. It's not something one should throw around lightly. But when you look at what's going on in America right now, you have to say, if it walks like a fascist and if it talks like a fascist, it probably is. Maybe it's authoritarianism, maybe it's fascism, we don't know, but what it is awful. I think what we have to do is think about the common values, the ones which have always united us and made America special. Special. We have been special. Not special can be good or bad, but no, I think there is such, words like American exceptionalism, I think you have to be a little careful because, that has a little jingoistic tone, taste to it, but America has been an exceptional place.
That there are some who prefer to be entrepreneurs. Let them. We must note that there are some who prefer to be artists or technologists. Let them. This is what freedom is about. This is what free society requires. And regardless of what you think or what you believe in the United States of America, you can grow, you can advance, because that is where the seat of freedom lives, and we will not let that seat fall to a tyrant. And I enlisted in the United States Marine Corps. I spent 4 years on active duty, having sworn to write the United States of America a blank check payable with my life, if necessary, to defend and protect our Constitution. But my oath to spend time in our military service did not include the personal proclivities of any president. under any circumstances. And this is because when you actually open up the capacity for the American public to share their voice, it will be a competition of ideas. You will have inspired debate. You will certainly have disagreements, which is what freedom is all about. No kings, no unitary thought, no tyranny. And now, as Secretary of State, the 21st in Arizona's history, I have the dubious distinction of finding myself one of those 350 Americans on this administration's retribution list. And the only thing that bothers me about that is that I understand I'm not in the top 10, and that bothers the hell out of me. The president and his ilk lied to the American people, but not just to the American people, which is contemptible enough. They lied about the American people, those Republicans and Democrats who ran our elections, those poll workers and election judges, those inspectors, regular Americans just like you administering our elections. They lied about Americans, and that cannot be forgiven. Into this second term, we see an attempt to destroy habeas corpus, to get rid of the rule of law generally, to deport 4-year-old U.S. citizen cancer patients, to send my United States Marine Corps into an American city because somebody's got their feelings hurt in Washington, D.C. We shall not let this stand. And so to those Americans, not just assembled here, but assembling across the United States of America, today, on June 14th, I tell you this: be peaceful, be loud, be as American as you are entitled to be, and hold on to every one of those sacred rights that our Constitution gives to you. And when this day passes, and when the ink on these signs fade, continue to voice your voice. Continue to fight for marginalized communities, those quote-unquote lesser among us who are no less human and God's children than are each one of us. Continue to stand and make certain that your voice is heard. There are certain examples, by the way, where we know that tyranny will fold. And we know that it is an American constitutional right, if not a tradition, for us to stand for what we believe in. We go back to the marches of the civil rights movement. We go back further through the protests that allowed women suffrage, which was most important in the United States. It is the act of protest that is important, and it's not always peaceful. We look to the harbor in Boston for one of the greatest examples of protest that succeeded, although it wasn't very peaceful. But that's okay, because every once in a while a tyrant feels the voice because they feel that accountability. Whether it's tens of thousands in the street or a couple of Teslas go on fire, sending Elon Musk packing. And to be clear, I must say, I am not condoning violence or property damage, but I am condoning violence against tyrannical ideas and the damage to the ego of those who deserve it the most. The ideas that allow for a competition of philosophies to develop and progress as humanity. And we in the United States have gotten it right for so long. The mediator of this diversity, of course, is our elections. The one thing they want to take away from us. Our elections are that true, apologies to Chevy trucks, they are the true heartbeat of America. Law and medicine, technology and business, the arts and sciences, all of these threads make up that fabric. But what holds them together is the notion that we get to decide. We the people are the ones with the power. We are the ones with the voice, and right now there is a strong hand tugging at that golden thread. And if it succeeds, that fabric will disintegrate. Do not allow them to succeed. And when you've got that daring arrogance, nay, that hubris that wants to march an American military through the U.S. Capitol just to celebrate his birthday, that's a red flag. And I've never known freedom to march under so many red flags. It does not. That is the thing of a tyrant. That is the thing of autocracy. That is not the red, white, and blue. That is the flag of my nation that I love so much. And I will fight for it, and I hope that you will continue to fight for it as well. Let's do it together, Americans. Let's stay free. Thank you very much.